Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look into the order of execution of a SQL query. Sometimes you face syntax error saying column does not exist, even your query making perfect logical sense to you. Usually this happens right after you create a brand new name or alias in your select statement and then try to use that alias to filter your data in a where or having clause. To understand the reason for this issue, first you need to understand the most important concept, order of execution. When you write SQL, you type your commands in a specific order, but the database engine actually reads and runs your code in a completely different order. Today, we are going to look inside the database engine to see exactly how it reads your code step by step. I am going to show you a practical example on my screen, and we will write a query together. You will see exactly why these errors happen. Let's jump into the theory first. Look at the keywords list on the left side. This is how we are taught to write SQL. We start with select, distinct, top, then from, where, group by, having, and finally order by. But a database engine cannot select data if it does not even know what table to look at yet. It has to follow a logical path to gather, filter, and present your data. So look at the list on the right side. This is the order the engine actually runs your commands. First, it runs the from and join clauses. It goes to the hard drive, finds the tables, and joins them together into one big dataset. Second, it runs the where clause. It immediately filters out any raw rows that do not match your rules. Third, it runs the group by class. Now it takes all those surviving rows and squashes them into groups based on the categories you asked for. Fourth, it runs the having clause. Think of having as the where clause for your newly created groups. It filters out entire groups that do not meet your math conditions. Fifth, it finally runs the select clause. We are at the step 5 and the engine is just now looking at your select statement. This is the exact moment it does your math, creates your new column names and picks the final columns to show. Sixth, it runs the distinct class. If you ask for distinct rows, it looks at the data from step 5 and removes any exact duplicates. Seventh, it runs the order by clause. Now that the columns and aliases have been created, it sorts the final data set. And eighth, it runs the top class. Even though you type top way up in the select statement, the engine applies it at the very end to chop off the bottom and give you just the top rows you asked for. Let's look at a practical example so this really clicks. Imagine we have an e-commerce table called company sales. Our goal is to find the top 3 unique departments by revenue, but we only want to look at completed orders and we only want to see departments that made over $50,000. Let's write this query out together, but I'm going to type it in the exact order that the SQL engine thinks about it. First, the engine needs the data, so let's write our from statement. We are selecting from the company sales data. Next, engine filters the raw data. So let's write our where class. We want to filter where the order status is equal to completed. Now the engine needs to group our data. Let's add our group by statement. We are grouping everything by department column. Then the engine filters those groups. Let's add our having clause. We want to keep only the groups having a sum of sales amount greater than 50,000. Now we are at the step 5. Let's move up to the top and write our select statement. We will select the department and sum of the sales amount. Let's name this as a total revenue. Now look at this carefully. Do you see why we could not use the new name total revenue down in our having clause? The having clause ran at step 4, but the name total revenue wasn't created until the select clause ran at step 5. If you try to use an alias in the where or having clause, the engine does not know what you are talking about yet. Let's look at the step 7. We write our order by clause at the bottom. We will order by total revenue descending. This works perfectly. Why? Because order by happens at step 7, which is after the step 5. By the time the engine gets here, it already knows exactly what total revenue is. And finally, step 8. We want to limit our results. We go back we go back to our select statement and add top 3. Even though it is typed at the top, the engine waits until the very end after sorting to apply this limit. Understanding this execution order is the secret to avoiding those annoying alias errors. If this step-by-step breakdown helped you understanding SQL a little better, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Subscribe to the channel for more such videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.